So you've got your block, you're coming onto your back, and you're going to take your block or your paper towels, your pillow, whatever you're using, and put it between your thighs. Squeeze the block with your thighs. Keep your feet on the floor, and here we'll tap into what your triple S feels like. So triple S is a great way to make sure that your pelvis, where your bottom and top comes together, and your spine is in a neutral position for optimal movement. So your sacrum bone is the big flat bone at the base of your spine. It's above your butt flesh, but beneath your low back. You want to feel that weighting down into the floor. Your low back has a natural little arc off the floor. The second S is your shoulder blades or your scapulas rooting down into the floor. And the final S is your skull. So sacrum, shoulder blades, and skull, all on the same plane. Good, and then lift and spread your toes, plant them back down. You want the heels under your knees or maybe a little forward of the knees. Bring your hands onto your thighs, right above the hip crease. Take an inhale. And then as you exhale, straighten your arms, push your thighs away, squeeze your butt to lift your hips. Let the back of the neck stay long, so keep the chin pulled down to the front of the throat. Press your thighs away to manually create a little more space in the fronts of your hips. Take your peace fingers and poke your butt to make sure that it is your butt working here to keep you lifted. Bring the hands to the sides of your pelvis, now your hips, and just try and push those two together. So the right and left sides of your hips, try and just consolidate them in by pushing with your hands. And then take your arms up above your shoulders, make fists. So these fists is kind of like our mudra for fortitude, for courage. And then take your right fist a little higher like you're punching the ceiling. The shoulder blade moves away from the spine, and then bring it back down. Left hand punches toward the ceiling, and then bring it back down. And just go side to side, these little punches. Feeling this really cool muscle, it's called your serratus anterior. It connects your back ribs to your front ribs right underneath your armpit. It's also known as the boxer's muscle, so it's the muscle that helps you to punch. It also stabilizes your shoulders, so we want them strong. Good, and then relax your shoulder blades down to the floor, but keep your arms how they are, open your fists, and then flex out your wrists like you could hold a big tray right above your shoulders. Take your left hand and grab the four fingers of your right hand and pull them down to your face. Now this is a layer. If you want to add some more heat into your calves, start to lift and lower your heels by pushing into the big ball mounds of your feet. If you can't tell already, we work our brains a lot as well during this practice. That is very intentional. We want to work the ability for our brain to be adaptable. And then switch, stretch the other wrist out. So keeping your left arm straight, grab the four fingers of your left hand with your right hand and pull them down to your face. Breathe here. Keep your butt on. Keep your breath going strong. Good. And then let your arms come down. Let that heat simmer for just another breath. And then slowly lower your spine down. Bridge pose is a magnificent pose for a lot of reasons, but if you feel after that a lot of compression in your low back, know that your low back is probably doing more work, taking over some work for your glutes. So it's so important to have a strong butt, a strong stabilizer there. Moving on to our core, we're going to take the block and place it the skinny way between the knees. Again, if you don't have a block, that's not a huge deal. You just want to keep in mind that your knees are hugging in towards each other. Now, keeping your feet on the floor, or if you'd like a layer up, you can bring your feet off the floor. If you do that, though, you want to make sure that your low back did not take more of an arc, but you still have that nice neutral curve of your spine, sacrum still rooting down. So either feet on the floor, feet up, hands behind the head. Elbows hug in. They're not pointing out to the sides. They're hugging in and pointing towards the ceiling. Take an inhale. And then exhale, pull the low ribs down. Start to squeeze everything around the ribs to lift the shoulder blades off the floor. So you're not coming very high. You're gazing at the block or just between your thighs. The weight of your head is being supported by your hands. Everything's hugging in and down around your belly. Legs stay how they are. Inhale, lower the shoulders. Exhale, lift up. So again, your feet could be on the floor here. Your right arm makes that fist and takes a punch up towards the ceiling. So get higher off the shoulder blades. Feel the right shoulder blades slide away from the spine. Hand behind the head. Inhale and lower. Exhale, lift. Pull the low ribs down. Feel your core lifting the shoulder blades. Left arm reaches up towards the ceiling. Make a fist and punch a little higher. Pulling the low belly down. Hand behind the head. Inhale and lower. Exhale and lift. Your right arm takes that punch, gets a little higher, option to extend your left leg. Pull down with your low belly to lift up from the shoulder. Hand behind the head, bend the left knee, inhale and lower. So if your feet are down, you could just extend your leg in the same way. Exhale, lift up. Your left arm punches up towards the ceiling. Your right leg extends. Lift up a little higher, pull belly down. Hand behind the head, rebend the knee, inhale and lower. Exhale and lift. Your right arm extends, make that fist, punch. Your left leg extends, and then try and get your fist towards that shin, the left shin. So a little turn through the center. Woo! Hand behind the head, inhale and lower. Last one, exhale and lift. Your left arm reaches, it punches, your right leg extends, and then a tiny turn to take that fist towards that right shin. And release. Okay, so hopefully you're feeling that. Bringing the knees in towards your chest. You can rock a little side to side. Just kind of simmer in that heat for a moment. And then you can push yourself off to the side, or you can grab the backs of your thighs and take a couple rocks and rolls up onto hands and knees. All right, so that's the part of the class called the reset. We got our stabilizing muscles, being our core, our butt, all turned on. So we're ready to move in some bigger ways. We're gonna take one dolphin pose. So that's forearm down dog. If you know that doesn't work for your shoulders, you can just take a regular down dog. But dolphin pose is a wonderful bang for your butt. So coming down onto your forearms, you want to be able to touch your opposite outer shoulder. So your elbows are pretty narrow. And then you're on your knees to start, your toes are tucked. Soften the shoulder blades together, let the chest come towards the floor. And then puff up between the shoulder blades. Lift the knees. The gaze goes underneath you, even up towards your belly. Pressing the floor away with your forearms. And lifting the front ribs, the front belly towards the back ribs and the low back. Relax your head here. Take a couple shakes of your head or rotations. And then you can stay here or option to lift your right leg. Keeping the left front hip point lifting. The left knee can have a little bend to it. Bend your right knee. And then wag your right shin from left to right. That's going to translate into the hip joint itself for a little opening there. Keep the low belly pulling up, lifting into the support of your back body, and then set that foot down. Lift the left leg up, hip level, bend the knee, and then wag the shin side to side. Meet the challenge with your strength. Breathe. And then set that foot down, lower your knees down. Take a child's pose, sit your butt back to your heels, bring the forehead onto the floor. Turn your palms to face up, breathe into your back body. Okay. Coming to the top of your mat, standing up. All right. We're going to take a little Kriya here. So a Kriya is a quicker movement. It's going to bring a lot of energy to us very quickly. So taking your arms up into this V shape and then making that fist. So even here, can you sense your triple S? Can you pull the back of the skull back in line with your shoulder blades? Can you pull in through the low belly a little bit to feel the sacrum in line? Take an inhale, reach up through your arms. And then the exhale is going to be out the mouth and the elbows come into the sides. Inhale, exhale. Move as quickly or as slowly as you want and make the exhale as soft or as forceful as you want. Good, keep going. 3, 2, inhale, open. Exhale, the hands come down through heart center. Bring the hands on top of your heart. Connect to the beat. Take a couple breaths. Feel the little shifts. Good. And then we'll start to move in even bigger ways. So you're at the top of your mat. Your feet are coming straight down from your hip sockets. Bring one hand to your low belly and the back of the other hand to your low back and just waffle iron those areas together. Let your arms rest at your sides. Pull the chin back towards the front of the throat, front of the ribs towards the back ribs. So standing with lots of intention, lots of fortitude. Let your thumbs rotate forward and inhale, reach up. And then exhale, you're hinging into your hips. So it's not bending from your back forward and down. We are sitting back into our hips so the pressure doesn't go into the knees, it goes back to your butt to lower yourself down till the hands come right underneath the shoulders. Step yourself back to a plank pose. Drop your knees down. Feel your triple S here. So notice if you've got like the belly hugging up too much, or maybe it's sagging towards the floor. Keep all of that hugging in around your core. And then like a screwdriver, how we turn it from the top to affect the bottom. We want to feel this external rotation of the top of our arm bone to affect our wrists and our hands. So dial the hands out, try and spin them out, but don't let them go anywhere. Feel the shoulder blades lock in place. And then, keeping the belly pulled up and the chin pulled up, squeeze an imaginary block between your legs, and bend your elbows. With control, lower to your belly. Keep the hands where they are. Press your pubic bone down to keep your low back long, and pull the hands back without letting them move. That pull helps you to lift the chest. Exhale, tuck your toes, lift onto your knees. The weight in your hands doesn't change as you lift the knees up and then back, down dog. Take a couple breaths here. Feel the connection of your palms gripping the mat. That fortitude all the way up your arms into your shoulders. We're not sagging in our shoulders and trying to press the chest back. We want to keep the connection, that strong connection between the shoulders and the torso. Relax your head. You can be high off your heels here. The knees can be bent. You want the apex of the pose to be that low belly lifting up the pelvis. And then exhale, bend your knees and just step to the top of your mat. Inhale, reach forward and up. Exhale, sit back and down. Bring the hands down. Step your right foot back. Drop your knee. Untuck the back toes. And inhale, reach forward and up. Take a goalpost shape with your arms, so just bending the elbows, and then make fists that face in. So feel the energy, this fortitude here. Keeping the right glute super firm to start opening up the front of that hip. Hands come down. Step yourself back. Now you can take a flow here through your chaturanga and your cobra, or you can go right to down dog. Step that same leg, the right leg forward. Left knee down. So now we're in a low lunge on the other side. The back toes untuck. Lift the arms up, squeezing the left glute. Even here, your triple S, you've got the skull, shoulder blades, sacrum lined up. And then bend the elbows, make this like strong girl move, this for strong man, whatever you are. Make some fists there. Breathe, a little expansion across your chest. And then hands come down, step the back foot in. Inhale, reach forward and up. Right back into it, exhale. Hands come down under the shoulders. Left foot steps back this time. Drop the back knee, but not the toes if that's okay for your foot. And then lift yourself up. And then you're just gonna roll your wrists out. Just like this little fun, airy move with our hands. Squeezing the left glute, lifting up this whole left line. Good, and then hands down, step yourself back. You can take a flow or go right to down dog. And then the same foot that stepped back, so that left foot is going to step forward, and the right knee drops. Inhale, lift up, little circles with your wrists. Yes. And then hands come down, step the back foot in. Inhale, reach forward and up. Hands come down through your heart. Good. Moving into our first sequence. This is going to be a little bit of one-footed balance. Just so you know, when we move into an airplane, you can always keep your back toes down. So again, there's going to be a level for everybody. Let's start on our right foot. So bring the hands onto your hips. Spread and lift your toes and plant them back down onto the floor. Feel the waffle iron of your low belly towards your low back. Engage your right glute and lift your left knee. Nothing changed in your hips except for this flexion of that hip to lift the knee. And then we're going to take crane. So again, bring your arms up, make fists, and then let the knuckles come towards the floor. The wrists try to reach up towards the ceiling. So you're getting that stretch on the top of the wrists. Engage your right glute. Stand strong, fortitude. And then arms come down to your sides. Now the knuckles face forward like you were trying to pull something apart behind you. And then airplane. Bend your right knee a little bit. Send your left leg back. Gaze right under your nose. So again, you could be on your back toes working this crescent, or you can be an airplane with the back leg lifted. Triple S here. Pull the front of the throat up. Take another breath in. Back toes touch down. Reach your arms forward and up. Crescent lunge. Let's get the pelvis situated first though. Bring the hands to the hips. Feel that your left hip and your right hip are in line with each other, and your pubic bone is not behind your hip points, but it's on the same level. Squeeze your left glute. You can bend your back knee a little bit. And then inhale, arms reach up, and then again with the goalpost fists. We're going to take little turns. So take an inhale, exhale, little turn to the right, small, come back to center. Exhale, little turn to the right. All those core muscles we've already turned on, back to center, helping you to make a little turn to the right. Inhale, back to center. Last one, a little turn to the right. Left hand's going to come down. So this is where if the floor feels far, you'll find a block or maybe a little stool or something you can place under your left hand. If you can, bring the left hand down, do. Wherever you are, the left hand is directly underneath the left shoulder, and your left hip didn't fall towards the floor, but you keeping it pulled up with that pull of the low belly. And then right arm can reach up, gaze to the right, and let your head relax so you get a little stretch on your neck. Breathe. Focus and breathe. One more breath in. And then exhale, hand down, step your back foot back, or your front foot back, down dog. Good, on an exhale, bend the knees, take a big step or a light hop to the top of the mat. Sit back into your butt, arms reach forward and up. Inhale, exhale, hands come down. Bring your hands over your heart and close your eyes again. Connect to the beats under your palms. Good, and then let your arms come down to your sides. Notice the subtle little difference between your right and your left. And then we'll take that on the other side. So the left toes lift and spread and plant back down. You can have a little micro bend in that left knee. So just like a tree, how it blows in a windy storm, it needs to be able to move a little bit, right? So you keep that buoyancy in the left knee as you lift the right knee up. Squeeze into that left glute for stability. Arms come up into this V shape. Make fists and reach those wrists up so you're stretching across the tops of the wrists. Pull the front body in and breathe. One more breath in. And then arms come down to your sides. The backs of the palms face back, and it's almost like you're trying to pull something apart. So feel your shoulder blades lock into place. Little bend of the left knee as you transition to either a airplane crescent or a full airplane. Keeping the right leg off the floor. Those right toes stay pointing down towards the floor. You've still got a triple S here, so you're not leading with your chin. One more inhale, back toes down, reach forward and up, make goalpost fists. Bend the back knee, so feel that level neutral pelvis, so it's not tipping forward. And then little turns from the center, exhaling to the left. Inhale, forward. Exhale. Little turns. Good, and then last one, stay turned. Right arm reaches forward, and then bring the right hand down, either onto a block or a little stool, or maybe all the way to the floor. And then lean into your right hand. So feel the right shoulder blade locks onto your back right ribs and holds you as you lean into it. Keeping your right leg super strong, pulling your belly back and breathing. And then exhale, hands come down, step back, down dog. Drop down to your knees. So you're in a tabletop. The heels of your hands come straight down from your shoulder. The knees are right underneath your hips. Keeping the low belly pulling up, soften the chest to the floor and let the shoulder blades retract together. Keep the arms straight. And then press the floor away, the upper back lifts to the ceiling. Inhale, shoulder blades squeeze together, chest softens. Exhale, puff up between the shoulder blades. Inhale and exhale. Keeping that low belly on. Good, and then find the middle point, the happy medium between pressing the floor away, shoulder blades protract away from the spine, and then them squeezing together. So they're locked nice in place, right on the back ribs. Keep your left hand where it is. Keep your left knee directly under your left hip. Step your right toes back. Drop your right heel down and lift your right arm up. So you're in this gate pose. Left hand's directly under your left shoulder still, and the left shoulder blade is on your back rib, so you can lean into it. The right arm's reaching up. If you'd like a little more, you can lift your right leg in line with your hip. Sit bones are squeezing together. Low belly is hugging in. One more breath in. And if your foot's on the floor, you'll lift it just enough to hinge into the right hip and step that foot all the way forward. So now we're in this like little low lunge here. Bring your right forearm onto your right thigh. Your left hand can stay down as you lift the left knee. And then you'll drop the back heel and lift your left arm. So now we're in a side angle pose. So this is like warrior 2 feet. You've got your right forearm on your right thigh. Right toes point forward, back toes point to the side. Reach your left arm up. Turn the palm to face forward and then take your arm over your cheek. Relax your head. Pull the low belly towards your low back and squeeze your left glute. Feel that left low back get a nice stretch there. Inhale, use your core to bring you up through center, so you're in a warrior 2. Arms extend out to the sides. Back hand reaches down, flip the front palm, reverse. Right arm reaches over. Now you're breathing into that right low back. Inhale, back into warrior variation or side angle. Your right forearm comes down, your left arm slices up and over. And then we're going to come from here to some side lunges. Just going to bring this left hand down. You can stay low and then just go from side to side. So again, if the floor is far, you could have blocks under your hands, or you could have your hands on your hips, working that co-contraction of your core. So it's options for everyone, but what you want to feel is that your weight is going back into your hip, not forward into your knee. So you're deepening into that hip crease, sitting back into the butt and the side you're leaning into, and then using that glute to push you up and over to the other side. Keeping your mind's eye on your triple S. So we're building our proprioception, our ability to know where our body is in space. Sacrum, shoulder blades, and skull. Good, then come back to the top of the mat, back into your tabletop position. Knees down, hands underneath your shoulders. Right knee stays underneath your hip, right hand stays underneath your right shoulder. Left toes come back. Pull belly up, spin the back heel down, and reach your left arm up. You can have a fist with this left arm, and then relax your head. So right ear comes towards the right shoulder. Gravity gives our neck a little stretch. Option to lift the left leg in line with the hip. This is super challenging. We're working all kinds of stability, hip mobility, all the illities. If your foot's on the floor, lift it just for a moment, hinge into your left hip and step this left foot forward. Left forearm comes onto your left thigh, lift your back knee and spin that heel down. Reach your right arm up for side angle. So again, left forearm on left thigh. Reaching the right arm up, flip the palm to face forward and then take the arm over your cheek. Squeeze your right glute. Pull the belly back towards that low back. Feel the right side get a stretch. Inhale, up through center, reverse. Back through center, side angle. And then those side lunges. So this top arm is just going to circle down. Your left toes will turn, and you'll just sit back into your hips. Side lunges. In our day-to-day life, it's pretty rare that we get the opportunity to move in this kind of lateral way from side to side. super functional. Turning back to face the front, step your back foot forward. Let your belly and rib cage meet your thighs. So bend your knees, sit back into your hips, and then relax your head. Breathe into your back body. And then sit the weight into the heels. Inhale, forward and up. Exhale, hands come down through heart center. All right. We're going to put these things together. This is where it gets really fun, and our brain mapping has the opportunity to really solidify those little pathways we're building. So, top of your mat, crane pose on your right foot. So lift and spread your right toes, plant them down. You have a tripod of your foot. It's your heel, big ball mound, and pinky ball mound. You want to feel that tripod supporting you. The middle part is your arch that lifts the energy from the floor up into your leg. So feel the foot gripping the floor. Lift your left knee. Core is on. Arms reach up. Make fists. Take a breath in. Exhale, the arms sweep down into your airplane. Lean yourself forward as your left leg goes back. Again, the left toes could touch down or you can stay lifted. Good, and then back toes touch down. Inhale, reach forward and up. Keep your fists here. And then bend your back knee. Push off those toes and lift the left knee back up. Elbows pull down. Do it again. Step back, lift the arms up. Push off those toes, elbows pull down. Yeah, this is challenging. Inhale. Push off the back toes. Exhale. Pull the knee up. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more. Good, and then back into your crescent. The left arm comes forward into a twist. So the left hand comes down to the floor. The right arm stays lifted. Take a moment here in your twist. Again, you can be on a block with your left hand, of course. Drop your back knee down. Sweep your front leg back. So you're either coming again into that gate pose or into the supported side plank, lifting the leg up in the air. Breathe here. Hinge into your right hip, step this right foot forward, right forearm on your right thigh, you know where we're going now. Lift your back knee, side angle. Lifting the left arm up. Palm faces forward, take it over your cheek, stretching into that low back. Inhale, come up through center, reverse. Exhale, back into your side angle. You can stay right here, really feeling the left glute on, stretching the low back, or you can come for a half moon. Left hand comes onto your left hip, walk the back foot in a little. You could even, if you want an extra layer, keep your right elbow connected to your thigh and lift the left leg. Your knee will stay pretty bent there. Or you can always find a block or the floor with your right hand. Breathe, fortitude. Strength in adversity. And then the left hand comes down. Let the left hip roll down in line with the right. And then you're going to let your left shin plant down onto the floor, right behind your right heel. Turn to the right so you come into this seated twist. I'm going to face you guys. So your right foot is crossed over your left thigh. Now if this isn't doable, you could always sit on a block. You can also extend this bottom leg. You just want your foot crossed over your left leg somehow. So sitting up tall, we have a tendency to round here. So feeling the weight again on the fronts of your sit bones, and then that lifts you up all the way to the crown of your head. Lift your left arm straight up. Make a fist. Lift it a little higher. Take your right hand next to your right hip and just bend that elbow and lean over. Inhale, come back up and uncross your legs. Come back onto hands and knees and then step yourself back up to standing for the other side. So I'm hoping that when we went through and repeated some of the stuff we did before, maybe you felt just a little bit smoother in those transitions, just a little. So planting down onto our left foot this time. Engage your left glute, bring that right knee up. Arms reach up into that V, make fists and reach the top of the wrist towards the ceiling. Take a breath in. As you exhale, let the arms sweep down to your sides, the backs of the palms face back as you send this leg back slowly. Feeling the left hip crease deepen, the left knee bends a little, right toes point down. Triple S here. Touch your back toes down. Bend that back knee, sweep your arms forward and up. Now you could just work this pose right here, or if you'd like to add those pulses, you can come along, pressing into the back knee, squeezing the left glute as you lift the right knee and pull the elbows down. Inhale, exhale. Working the stability of that front leg. The strength of your core. 2 more. Good. Coming back into your crescent. The right arm will start to reach forward and down as you come into this twist. Putting anything under your right hand if the floor feels far. Leaning into the right hand, shoulder blade supports you. Keeping the right hip lifted. Back knee comes down underneath your right hip. Sweep the left leg back either for your supported side plank or your gate pose with the foot down. Make a fist with the upper hand. Feel the change in energy just with that small change. Bend into the left hip crease to send this left foot forward. Left forearm on your left thigh. Lift your back knee. Spin the heel down. Side angle. Lift your right arm up. Palm faces forward. Reach the arm over your cheek. Squeeze your right glute. Sit bones squeeze and hug together. Low belly hugs in. Inhale up through center. Reverse. And then back into your side angle. Right hand can find your right hip. Gaze goes down to the floor if you're coming along for half moon. Wiggle your back foot in a little bit. Your hand can reach down for a block or the floor, or if you'd like a little more, you can keep that connection of your left elbow to your left thigh. Keep your gaze right underneath your nose and lift your right leg. Sit bones still hug together. Really nice. Hands come down underneath your shoulders. Right hip comes down in line with left. Your right shin comes behind your left heel. You keep turning to the left till your butt sits down. Again, you can have the bottom leg extended, or you could be sitting on something. All of our bodies are different, so it's not going to look the same. Good. Taking your left hand next to your left hip, take your right arm up, make a fist, reach, fortitude, feel it, inhale. And then exhale, bend the bottom elbow, lean over. Inhale, come back up. And arm comes down. Bring yourself just into a comfortable seat for a moment. Take your arms straight forward, make fists. Let the knuckles reach down towards the floor. Lift the hands back up, open and spread the palms. Do that again, make fist, knuckles towards the floor. And lift, open, spread your palms. Take your arms out to your sides, keeping the palms open. Close your eyes and just feel the subtle but strong energy of just holding your arms out in this way. This is the extension of your heart through your arms. We can find strength and fortitude in our movement practice, and we can let that come out into our day-to-day. Good, and then just let the hands come back in over your heart. Good, and let the arms come down to your sides, making your way to your Shavasana. Coming down on your back. So even here, we're always working with our nervous system through our practice, working through the higher states and the lower states, so sympathetic and parasympathetic. So even though we just did a strong, energizing movement practice, we want to be able to turn in and tune into this more calm, peaceful state of Shavasana on demand. So getting yourself really comfortable, maybe you put pillows under your knees or a blanket if you're chilly. Taking up space with your body. Closing your eyes and just reaping the benefits of your efforts. Letting your being absorb those feelings, those energies, that work. Softening the skin of your face, the skin behind your ears, all the muscles in your throat and neck, just letting everything get heavy and widen towards the floor. Your lips can be gently parted, your tongue can relax. Let your breath soften. Just lay here quietly for a few minutes. Not changing anything, but just noticing the sounds. The air on your skin or the clothes on your body. Gently wiggling back into your fingers, your toes. And extending the arms overhead if that feels good. Stretching out long. And you're pressing yourself up, or you can roll to one side and then press yourself up. And then bring your hands one more time over your chest. The seat of your compassion, your love, your courage, and just feeling the effects, the residual effects of moving and imbuing that kind of energy into your being so you can move through your day with it still in you. And then press the hands together. Namaste. Hope you're all feeling a little lit up after that. Again, I put my email in the chat box. If anybody has questions or feedback of any sort, please reach out.
Thank you, Anne.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Thank
Anne.
you.
Thank you. Thanks everyone.
So much. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
You managed to find the floor.